Hey there, everyone. I hope you are all doing good. Stasma here. Today I'm here to talk to you about the new module by Jolin Lab in Italy, Rosa. This video is sponsored by Jolin Lab in the sense that they sent me Rosa in advance so I can give it a try and make a video if I liked it. Let's take a look at the interface first. We have 4 inputs corresponding to 4 outputs over here. We have the main control that scans or moves between the 4 locations. You can see with the lights. This is the CV control for this, and you can select either to control the scanning by the pot or with CV. It's CV with no CV in, show you the first location, input 1, on this upper right corner. Here you have the switch for the 3 different modes. Scan, that will scan the 4 inputs to 1 output, multiplied 4 times. Wave, that acts as each input corresponds to its own output. There's no summing anywhere. So you just open the VCAs basically by moving around the knob. And we have the pass mode, which is 1 input, actually a sum of the 4 inputs, that is all sent to each output one after the others. We have 2 additional CV control. Ni, that will change the curve of the scanning. And so if you put 5 volts in, you will have a square basically, so you can make it work like a switch. We will see that later. And shut, basically, if you plug something in, you will have no sound anymore, and it acts as a general VCA on top of all the VCAs. So we can use this to change the overall output of the outputs. I couldn't resist and change that knob. It usually comes with one of these. Let's get on with some patches. Rosa is a very flexible module. And right now I'm using it as a 4 input to 1 input sort of crossfader. It uses that giant knob that is actually an endless encoder, an analog encoder, to travel through those 4 inputs and sending them out at this output. I could take any and the special thing about it is that as it's endless, it does go back to the first input when you turn it long enough. Go back like this. And you can control that via CV, of course. right now scanning. This is the right term. I'm in scan mode here on this switch, on the top mode, which is 4 inputs to 1 output. And we scan between the 4. I have made a little sequence to make this a bit more interesting than just 4 oscillators tuned differently. So I have the 4 oscillators, each being controlled by 1 lane of a 245T that's over here. They all have different notes. So scanning through them with something unsynced like right now, a simple triangle function, create interesting results, especially if the function is fast. The module is perfectly capable of handling audio write. Pretty fun results as well. There are a few other modes. Wave makes it act as 4 VCAs. So you have 4 inputs and you will have the sound at the 4 different outputs when the knob is at the right position. So let me take output 1, 2, and 3, as well as the last one that we had already. I'm going to send each of these to a different channel in the mixer with different low pass setting on the 292T that's over here. They're also panned differently. Let's use a slow. A fluctuating random voltage. From the 266T. At a ton spring. I'm testing the well spring by teaching machines at the moment as well. So this is the delay and spring reverb that you hear right now. Sounds gorgeous. And it's stereo, so perfect for this kind of patch. Let's see path. Path will sum everything you plug into the 4 inputs and send it to the 4 outputs one after the others. So let's sum 2 oscillators. Let's take output 1. pass gate centered. You can hear that we have the two oscillators together. And then it's gone, because we are not at the first output anymore. And with this, we can send it to whatever destination we want. Let's say this wave folder, why not? So here I have the two VCOs sent just to the low pass gate, then to the folder into another channel of the 292T in low pass mode. I can open a bit more. So I could just use it as a two-way crossfader. But instead of crossfading between two inputs, I'm sending the same input to two different outputs. Let's pan them so it's more obvious. Send another one to the 285T. Let's put back some spring reverb. Very easy to create crazy textures. I'm still not using the last output. I am going to send 296T that you can see on top here. Setting it to one of the hard pan channel of the 270 and control the panning. Pretty cool stuff. Also use this for feedback. This is pretty interesting. Could be CV feedback. You get feedback only once in a while. Okay, here comes the breakbeat patch. It's quite a mess. It's quite difficult to see what's going on, I guess, but I will try to explain the best. But the most important thing is that you can hear what's going on. Everything is run by the tracker. The breakbeats are sent to the preamp part of the 270 up there. And I'm using the audio to trigger that sequencer. That controls a little melody tuned by here from the 259T over here. I'm also clocking that one from the end of the envelope to get less frequent thing, and this is giving me the kick drum. So the kick drum is generated by the rhythm of the breakbeats. Whatever. What I've sent to Rosa, which is hidden over here, is just the breakbeat. So breakbeat to input 1, pass mode. So I can send that breakbeat to 4 different destinations. So let's listen only to the breakbeat. I leave the kick as a sort of straight thing. So this is the clean one. It's basically just going through Rosa. Output 1, direct to the mixer. Now this is sent to FX Boy with the feedback module flanger card. Classic BBD flanger thing. If I push the modulation a little bit, I go to weird territories that I quite like. Now this is sent to Make Noise Morphing, continuously recording the input and pitching it up and mangling the audio in real time. I really like this for breakbeats. And this is sent to the 296T. And so if we decide to voltage control this, we can get a lot of variations. I'm going to use that sequencer here. We hear the morphing a bit all the time, because as it's switching quite fast, there's always stuff fading out of it. This is clearly a mess, but I like it. Instead, we could send something much slower. Very slow functions from the 281T. This is cool, I like it. And I can bring back other elements of the patch. This is pretty fun. Let's make all the modulations faster. Let's see what happens. Here is a patch using the individual harmonic outputs of the DHO that I'm trying out at the moment as well. So it allows you to scan between different harmonics, but not necessarily in the normal order. You could still use the other outputs of the DHO. But it's also pretty cool to do some parallel processing, as we have the outputs all that are basically all the same mixes from the scanning. So I'm using a second one sent to the 285T. For some crazy stereo stuff. Could be even better with more CV control. Okay, so now let me show you. Let's go in CV mode. I love what it does in this mode. Let me show you the shut function. So it becomes a full VCA on top of all the outputs. That is active in all the modes. In wave, it means that I'm just alternating between those two outputs with each their respective inputs. And here, with the sum of all the inputs sent to the two different outputs. Let's go back to our original patch. So I find the best way to show the knee function is to send a direct 5-volt offset into it. You can hear that the change between the different places is instantaneous. If I remove the offset, I have that crossfading curve. I should mention that this is just absolutely awesome to play with. This knob is just of a pretty crazy quality. So now let's also use it a little bit with CV. So right now I'm using the 4 lanes of a 245T, each at one input, sending that to be attenuated here to go to the 1 volt per octave input of the DHO. I'm in scan mode, so I can scan between the 4 lanes. I have no quantizer, so I hear the woo, which is pretty fun. And I have this output connected to the knee input. So with a press of the just +5 switch, this now becomes a switch. Well, it does lag a little bit, which I think is something inside to prevent clicks. You can use a second sequencer to change the output. As this is the sequence, and that we have all the duplicate outputs, we could use them as a filter tracking on the low-pass gate, for example. In low-pass mode, it might be better. This is pretty cool. We could use this to control different stuff in the patch. In this patch I've made a weird percussion, and the way I did it was just to send the 4 triggers out of the helix Euclid. So we can change the pattern by rotating the main knob of Rosa. And this can create very interesting pattern when used in CV mode. Using the exact same technique but a bit in reverse. You could have one main sound. Go in pass mode. Use 2 of these inputs. Wave mode could be interesting as well. This one, by the way, is sent to the 266T over there. Quantized random voltages trigger. This is why the sound changes. Let's use this one as well. To trigger another sound. Oh yeah. There is a very fun patch in the manual that basically is here to make a sort of graphic VCO. So the concept of it is that you use the scan mode, the 4 inputs, and you send them offset generators. So basically just static voltages. As we did 4 of them for the patch, I decided to go for the 245T. We can actually draw the waveform using the 4 knobs, the 4 voltages. And what you use to scan between this is an oscillator. I'm using the saw wave here. The saw wave is perfect for scanning because it goes equally everywhere as it's linear. Even though the book-class saw wave are not that linear, but whatever. It does some very nice sound. And what's even funnier, when you use that kind of sequencer, is that you can advance them and have a bank of 5 different wave shapes. What's changing the pitch here is the 260-60 over here. So it's random tune by ear stuff. I love this kind of patch. So there's a few ways you can improve upon this patch. Here I have patched the saw wave to this 250-70 in order to attenuate it. I could attenuate it over here, of course, on the Rosa. But here I will be able to voltage control that to create that sort of pulse with weirdness thing. So let's patch this up with the modulation. Let's put it at 0 and send that slow function. Let's make it a bit less slow. I like that sound. Some other thing that you can modulate to have some fun sounds are actually the 2 inputs at the bottom here. Changing the knee give you some sort of wave shaping as well. Same as modulating the shut parameter, which is of course a bit more sounding like tremolo. It has some nice vibe to it. If you find the modulation too extreme like this, you can add the offset on this side of the crossfader. Many thanks to Jolin Lab for sending this excellent module to try. It's really nice. I love the interface. I love that infinite encoder. It does feel really great to use, and it's a very clever and very interesting design. Very flexible. Only little downside is maybe that some of the switches are a little bit hard to get to in the middle of a patch, but that's it. Apart from this, it is very nice, works well, looks gorgeous. So thanks to you for watching. If you want to support the channel, you can go have a look at my Patreon if you want to grab some sample packs or maybe get some teaching. You can also buy some stuff from the affiliate links below, or go get some music on Bandcamp, either on my page as Tasma or on my label page, Concrete Collage. Any support is always welcome, even though all the releases are pay what you want if you want to grab them for free. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.